You're tuned into Relationship Wednesday, where we expose the lies, set fire to the bullshit, and show you what real love should actually feel like. This is the Bad Influence Podcast, the podcast they warned you about. I'm your host, Jordan Banderas, and today we're cutting through manipulation, codependency, and toxic patterns with a machete. If you're tired of walking on eggshells in your relationship, it ends now. Raw truth, real growth. Let's get into it. Listen up. Right now, I want you to feel the sting of truth. You're not going to like what I'm about to tell you, but obsessing over your body count doesn't make you a legend. It shackles you in a cage of your own insecurities. Every notch on your belt isn't a trophy. It's a tattoo marking the location of another hollow victory. You think you're stacking proof of your prowess, but the only thing you're reinforcing is a prison wall around your heart. Here's your first brutal wake-up call. When you reduce intimacy to numbers, you turn human beings into data points, and data points don't deserve your respect. So you're looking at a number instead of a woman, and you say, oh, it's just another fucking number. I don't have to connect. I don't have to embrace this person. It's just a number. It's number like 300, right? 400, or whatever number it is, right? So you're not going to want to connect with that. And here's the thing. Real intimacy demands depth. It means laying your emotional scars on the table, not tallying up meaningless one-night stands. Let me be crystal clear. Chasing body count is a distraction from the real battle, the one raging inside you, where fear, emptiness, and unmet needs lurk. You're escaping the void, trying to fill it with fleeting pleasure. But every temporary fix only digs the hole deeper. The emptiness grows each time you swipe right, hook up, and brag, because you're feeding a hunger that sex alone cannot satisfy. Here's the truth that you must understand. Sex without emotional connection is like eating junk food. It gives you a momentary high because of the oxytocin, all this dopamine, and all this neurochemistry, right? Then leaves you desperately craving for real nourishment, which in this case it will be the connection you're leaving out, because guess what? You just see a number. So if you keep chasing these empty hits, you'll end up malnourished and hollow, wondering why you still feel so alone even though you have slept with so many women. I know, it's fucked up. But if you don't want to feel alone, you must change something and quit running. You're running from vulnerability, then punishing yourself for never feeling truly alive. The irony behind this is that the very thing you avoid, getting real, raw, vulnerable, is the only thing that can heal your wounds. I thought my value was defined by the number of partners I slept with, until one night, hungover and hollow, I realized I'd built a castle of sand that crumbled at first wave. So picture this. It's midnight in a downtown dive bar. Strobe lights slicing through haze. Broken stools lining the sticky counter, and the thump of bass rattling your ribs. You're perched on a cracked vinyl seat, nursing a cheap beer, scanning the room packed with strangers, chasing sparks in the dark. Your phone buzzes every 10 seconds. Another match, another quick hit of connection. Each swipe sends a little jolt of dopamine, but your gut twists with emptiness. You glance at the bathroom mirror and see hollow eyes staring back. The bar's neon glow feels like a cage, reflections multiplying until you can't tell which version of you is real. Flashback to last Valentine's Day. You rolled out of bed alone, smell cold sheets, and scroll profiles until your thumb ache. By noon, you'd collected another few notches, but the only dug the void deeper. You told yourself you were a legend, stacking badges of conquest. Yet, every brag on group chat rang hollow. You were proving nothing but your own loneliness. Each one night stand was a band-aid slapped on a wound you refused to see. Then came the night you met her on a restless impulse, a soft-spoken artist sketching in a corner booth. Instead of leading with ego, you ask about her story. You listen as her pencil danced on paper, and for the first time in years, your heart didn't thump with desperation. It softened with curiosity. You walk her home at dawn, not because of what you might get, but because you wanted to know who she really was. No tally, no brag, just genuine fascination. That raw honesty cracked open something inside you. That moment wasn't just a date, it was a revelation. True intimacy isn't measuring numbers, but in moments of brave vulnerability. It's true. It's true. I can attest to that. This is how I felt when I met my wife. Now, when you pause to probe your motives, you swapped a fleeting high for a flame that might actually warm you. You rewired your brain from collecting conquests to creating connections, which is important. That's the shift this love demands. Stop counting. Start feeling. I know it's going to be hard for a lot of you guys. You guys have done it for so long that you don't even know what feelings mean. Believe me, I've seen it out there. I've seen a lot of you doing this. And when I talk to some of my friends, I'm like, you guys are heartless. So tonight, choose depth over distraction. Lean into someone's story. Feel their trust spark and rewrite your own narrative with genuine intimacy as the hero. That night, I saw the truth. I wasn't a champion. I was a coward avoiding connection. Because true courage isn't scored in numbers. It's proven when you dare to be seen fully, flaws and all. Every emotional connection floods your brain with oxytocin, the bonding hormone that transforms sex from a transaction into a transcendental experience. So when you chase purely physical encounters, you short-circuit that chemistry, training your brain to bypass real intimacy altogether. You literally rewire your brain for detachment. So the next time you crave real connection, you'll recoil in terror. How many of you have done that? Again, I'm guilty. I used to be like this until I met my wife. And if you want to change this body count bullshit, like, oh, you need to sleep with like 400 women by the age of 19 or whatever, you can try these hacks. If you're done feeling alone, not having someone that supports you or someone that can love you and that you can love, you can try these hacks. For 1 month, commit to 0 hookups without emotional depth. Notice how your brain reawakens to a genuine connection after a while. Yeah, it may take a while, but it happens. Quality over quantity isn't just a cliche. It's your lifeline back to yourself. Because when you choose depth over distraction, You start building a fortress of meaningful memories, not a landfill of regrets. Anchor positive emotions to your authentic connections. After a deep conversation, pause and mentally label that feeling. This is trust. This is respect. This is love. This is happiness. Gosh, I love this. By labeling, you're programming your brain to seek depth, not dopamine hits. Now, practice the pause and probe hack. Before you have sex, I know this is going to be hard. I know it's going to be hard. But before you have sex, pause. Ask yourself, am I here for ego or for exploration? Probe until the answer rings true. If it's ego, walk away. No exceptions. Yes, walk away. Walk away with your boner. Protect your inner peace. Obsession with body count masks a deeper fear. Fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of being unlovable. Each notch is a band-aid on a wound you refuse to examine. True healing, it starts when you rip off the band-aid, stare at the wound, and decide to disinfect it with radical self-honesty. Write down, what do I really fear when I allow myself to need someone deeply? Then, confront that fear head on. Stop glamorizing the chase. You're not conquering, you're cowering from commitment, from authenticity, and most importantly, from vulnerability. Every time you opt for shallow sex, you're trading potential intimacy for a counterfeit high that crashes fast. Because let me ask you this. What's after the sex once you got your notch under your belt? Nothing, right? You ghost the other person. You left them wondering what they did wrong, right? People do this. You can see it on Reddit all the damn time. You can hear it on the radio, like I have said. I listened to the second date update on the radio on 105.3. And they talk about this. Oh, we have sex, and then he ghosted me. And then they call the guy, and the guy is all like, well, I got what I wanted. I don't want anymore. That's not the life that you want when you're in your 30s, when you're in your 40s, when you're in your 50s. Because I have seen people in their fucking 50s do this. I'm like, dude, you're going to get an STD. But that's besides the point. So imagine replacing every meaningless encounter with a moment of genuine curiosity. Asking, what's your story? And actually listening to the answer. That's very important. When you ask the questions, listen to the answers carefully. Because that simple shift can unlock doors you didn't know existed in your own heart. That's right. This isn't about being a prude. It's about reclaiming your power to choose when, where, and with whom you open your soul. Consent is more than agreement. It's the doorway to mutual exploration. Honor it with full presence. Next time you meet someone, set an intention. I'm here to connect, not collect. Feel the difference as you lean into their eyes, listen to their dreams, and share your own. You'll discover that real intimacy is sex supercharged. More powerful, more satisfying, and infinitely more transformative. Accountability matters on this. So share your intentions with a trusted friend who can call you out when you slip back into old patterns. Join a support group or a mastermind focused on authentic relationships. Surround yourself with people who champion depth over distraction. Embrace solitude as a training ground for self-connection. The more you know yourself, the more you can share yourself authentically with another. Visualize the emotional connection you crave. Feel it in your body. Let that sensation guide your actions. Because when temptation strikes, recall that embodied emotion to ground yourself in your higher intention. Keep score of genuine connections instead of body count. Track your moments of vulnerability, honesty, and mutual growth. Celebrate those wins. Share them with a community that values emotional bravery. And remember, your worth isn't measured by numbers. It's measured by your capacity to love and love deeply. If you fall back into old habits, don't drown in shame. Use that guilt as a compass pointing you back to your true north. Guilt without action is poison. Guilt with correction is power. So it's time to rewrite the story you're living. From now on, let every intimate moment be a brushstroke in the masterpiece of your authentic life. Lean into these transformative practices daily: intention setting, pause and probe, emotional labeling, deep listening to rewire your brain for genuine intimacy. Your journey to true connection is a marathon, not a sprint. Embrace setbacks as training pushes that build emotional endurance. Perfection isn't the goal. Let me make that clear. Perfection isn't the goal. Presence is. Show up fully, flaws and all, and watch as real intimacy ignites. Now, feel the urgency tonight. When you face temptation, pause. Remember this podcast. Remember this episode. Choose depth over distraction every single time. So go out there and start counting connections, not conquests. Transform your relationships, your self-worth, and your very brain wiring by choosing genuine intimacy over empty numbers. This is your call to action. If you want the relationship you've been craving for, that you claim to want, well, this is your fucking moment to change your mind. Commit to love as a verb. Active, intentional, and fearless. Share this with people you know, because we must reclaim intimacy's power and shatter the myth that body count equates to worth. I don't know who came up with that fucking bullshit, but it's not. It's not a sign of your worth. Sleeping with 100 women, 200 women, 500 women, it's not that impressive. Because I'm going to ask you one question, and this is for the guys and the women too. Let's just say you have slept with 200-300 women. Out of that many women that you have slept with, this is going to hurt so many egos, so prepare yourself. Out of that many women that you have slept with, how many of them were able to have an orgasm? Oh, shit. I just hit so many egos right now. And the reason why I'm asking is because a lot of these guys that are in the red pill or whatever, they're just like, oh, have sex and that's it. You don't even have to satisfy the women. You just have sex. You just do your thing. You don't do anything to her. You just like stick it in, pump and dump, and then you're done. But out of that many women, how many have you made orgasm? How many of them were able to have an orgasm or feel that sensation? You know, you made them feel like wanted. How many? 1, 2, 5? Because you know what though? Do you know how hard it is to make a woman have an orgasm? If you don't, you should actually look into this because it is really hard. It takes time for the women to get used to what's happening at the moment. So it takes time. And this is not just me talking. This is based on the information from sexologists, from psychologists as well, and from the neuroscience. So you can sleep with like 500 women, but how many of them can say, oh man, he made me have the biggest orgasm in my life? Like, I want more. Not that many. Not that many. So all those notches in your belt are hollow. So what you must do in order for you to have good sex, good intimacy, and a good relationship, when you meet the right person, you have to step into your authentic self and let your heart lead the way, not your ego. So now, go out there and revolutionize your world, one profound connection at a time. The choice is yours. And that's it for today. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out an episode, and have a great day.